Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday show. You see the topic. We'll get to the topic here in just a moment, but I do have some announcements and some bills to pay. So, first, please subscribe. Somehow I got down to 296, so now I am 4 away from 300. I don't know if we're realistically going to make 300. It seems like people just don't want to subscribe, but please prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. I got this big poof to hair. Sorry, it's just trying to comb it out, but it's not. Sorry about this, guys. Let's see. Hold on a second. Okay, that's better. So subscribe to the channel. Subscribing literally costs nothing. Support me on Patreon. Support starts at $2 per month. That's 50 cents a week. And I use that money. I will use that money to get better lighting, audio equipment, and those type of things. But I certainly could use some help on that. Special announcement. There will be a Christmas show. I usually, and don't pay attention to that date, I didn't put the little starlight thing in there, but there will be a Christmas show Wednesday, December the 25th. I normally do like a Zoom room where people, that just happen to be spending the holidays alone, or they just want to have fun for an hour. Come and hang out. It's going to be a fun time. So the Christmas show will be December the 25th, 2025 at 6 p.m. There will also be a New Year's Eve show. There will be a New Year's Eve show December the 31st, 2024 at 11:30 p.m. We're going to send 2024 away, bring in 2025. It will be great. And be sure to tune into that. I got to put one more announcement in the chat, so it'll be just a moment. Yeah, make sure you tune into that. Follow me on Facebook so I can go live there. Continue to read my blog. I promise I will have I will make an entry probably either tomorrow or Tuesday. Because I'm not planning on doing a show this Tuesday because that's Christmas Eve. I'll be doing the show on Christmas Day. So I'll probably do a blog entry on the 24th. So make sure to check out my blog. Okay, I've asked this for 15,000 times, but this is going to be the 15,001 time. Please follow me on Rumble. I am really wanting to podcast this show on Rumble live, and I need 5 more followers, not subscribers. I need 5 followers. So far, I have 2. So that just means if 3 of you are out there, always subscribe to YouTube first because that's where I can see comments. But please consider following me on Rumble so I can start 2025 off strong, being there. Also, you can follow me on Blue Sky after this podcast. This show will be there in case you want to watch it later. Help us to get 25 likes and 15 shares. We're really doing really well. The likes have increased. So I definitely appreciate that to all the people that are liking the show and sharing the show. Thank you very much. I've seen a lot more shares and I really, really appreciate it. So let's get started. First of all, I'm going to tell you all, I'm going to be looking at my phone a lot. There are a lot of Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and I did not realize how many of them there were. Um, we're talking about the Flintstones, which had like 10 spinoffs. We're talking about Scooby Doo that had at least 4 or 5. Um, Scooby Doo look-alike cartoons. Um, so there's a lot. So when I said ranking them all, probably not going to rank them all. Again, this is not a this is the best one. Like number one, like number 20, 19, 18. I won't do that. It'll just be random. But I do want to start off by talking about a cartoon that I like least, and that's Yogi Bear. I cannot with this show. The only characters I can name is Yogi Bear and I can't even name Yogi's sidekick. Like I literally just know one character. Um Yogi Bear. That's all I know. The whole thing with Yogi Bear, if you don't know, is he goes around and steals people's picnic baskets who just happen to be like traveling in the forest. Not one of my favorites. Just not one of my favorites. And if you're watching, because I see a few people watching, say hello so I know I'm not. Yeah, I know I struggle by myself. So please comment. And yeah, so like I said, I'm trying to find the characters on Yogi Bear because I literally just there was Yogi Bear, then there was that other little bear, and then there was like the forest ranger or the cop. Um okay, so let's see. I'm a Yogi. I didn't know it was a comic book character. I just thought it was a terrible cartoon. And of course they had a Christmas special. Okay. So now we'll know. Okay, so there's Boo Boo Bear, Bigelow, Cindy Bear, Chopper. But well, okay, so here it is. This is a better one. Go to Comic Vine. Yogi Bear, obviously the one I know. Boo Boo Bear, I guess that's the little one. Ranger Smith, that's the Park Forest Ranger. Cindy Bear, Snagglepuss, which I thought Snagglepuss had his own cartoon, but okay, whatever. Um, Quick Draw McGraw was a character. How did okay? Hold on. Quick Draw McGraw was a character in Yogi Bear. I cannot believe it. So Cindy Bear, Dick Dastardly. Okay, hold on. There's a whole lot more. Um, Muttley, Quick Draw McGraw, um, Ranger Smith, Snagglepuss. Wow, that's a whole lot more. I did not know Quick Draw McGraw was a character on the Yogi Bear show. I still didn't like it. The whole premise didn't make sense. This bear or bears, because they work in a team, they just steal people's picnic. It's just like, have you ever heard of a tranquilizer? I'm like, all you got to do is I don't know, just put them in a tranquilizer. The whole cartoon, it just didn't make sense. Another one I didn't like, the Smurfs. Oh my gosh. Yes, the Smurfs were produced by Hanna-Barbera, and I'm gonna read y'all this just so y'all know I'm not making this up. The Smurfs were produced by Hanna-Barbera. Smurfs, Hanna. Let me read this crapola. Um, there's a lot of problems that I have with the Smurfs. But the number one problem is everything had Smurf in it, like every word. There was Grumpy Smurf, Little Girl Smurf. No, wait a minute, no. Her name was Smurfette. Yeah, Smurfette, Brainy Smurf, In a Bad Mood Smurf, Driving in a Car Smurf, Getting My Teeth Pulled Smurf. Again, Papa Smurf, no Mama Smurf. Um, Wearing Overall Smurf, and Gargamel couldn't capture these, what I call them, rodents, because that's what they are. They're 3 apples high. Oh my gosh. Everything was Smurftaculous, Smurfalific, Smurf fabulous. Shut the Smurf up. Oh my gosh, this cartoon was so very, very, very off. Rude, by the way, thank you. Smurfing me off. Yeah, I'm smurfing you off, but I can't stand this cartoon. It was so stupid. You had the cat, which was probably the most interesting character. Gargamel, like, why was I cheering for Gargamel? Why was I cheering for Gargamel? They just wanted to everything was Smurfing, and then they made movies out of this. Like, who's I can't. I cannot with the Smurfs. I cannot with the Smurfs. They are the most annoying little overcheery. Oh, shut up. Oh, gosh. Oh, goodness. I can't stand the Smurfs. Can't stand them. Had to get those two off my chest because those two just, no. So I'm going to talk about some of these. I didn't hate them, but it wasn't like I was in love with them. And some I really, really loved. Okay, so I really loved them. Um, but this show, I did not like. The 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo. This show was so stupid. I remember just, no, wait a minute, not 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo. I'll get to that one. The one with just Scrappy by himself, the Scrappy Doo show. Um, so Scooby and Scrappy had a show where apparently Shaggy was at. I don't know, but it was Scooby and Shaggy had their own show, and then they just got rid of Scooby Doo for some reason. Um, Let me see. Um, yeah, Scrappy Doo. It was 13 episodes of this crap. And they were 24 segments were produced under the new there was, I'm sorry. So it was the Scooby and Scrappy show. Um, I did I don't even I don't understand why Scrappy Doo was added to the show. They were just fine with Fred, Velma, Daphne, Shaggy, Scooby, maybe Scooby Dum. I could tolerate Scooby Dum, right? But no. Anything with Scrappy by himself. Why would I want to see Scrappy Doo in anything? It was like, go away. Oh my gosh. Um, and did you know that Scooby Doo's name is actually Scoobert? Scoobert Doo. That's his name. But just thought, I'm dropping knowledge. Um, I want to talk about, and of course, I'm just kind of, like I said, this is a random list because I'm trying to find out, was the Happy Days hour produced by Hanna Barbera? I don't think it was, but if it was Days cartoon, oh my gosh, it was. So in the 80s, when a show was very popular, especially popular with kids, they would get their own cartoon, right? The Dukes of Hazzard had a cartoon. Laverne and Shirley had a cartoon. Um, Happy Days had a cartoon, right? I don't know if the Dukes was produced by Hanna Barbera, probably was, but the actors that were in the show, which was good, they actually did the voices in the cartoon. So you had um Fonz and the Happy Day Gang. I think that's what the name of the cartoon was. Like Arthur Fonz really did his own voice. Henry Winkler, the actor that plays the Fonz, did the voice for the Fonz. Ron Howard, Donnie Most, they all did their own cartoon voices. So it wasn't like, the Jackson 5 cartoons where you clearly know that ain't the Jackson 5 doing the voices. They're doing the singing, but not the voices. Um, it was okay, I guess, but like they had some weird plots. They had I think the premise was they were helping somebody travel back in time or something like that. Yeah, it was called Fonz and I'm just gonna read what Wikipedia says. Because this show, it was kind of weird. Okay, so the Fonz and the Happy Day Gang is an American animated science fiction comedy series produced by Hanna-Barbera and Paramount Television and originally broadcast Saturday morning schedule on ABC from November 8th, 1980 until November the 28th, 1981. It's a spinoff of the live action version, blah, blah, blah. But I thought, yeah, the premise, that's what it was. Okay, so Henry Winkler, Ron Howard, and Donnie Most all reprised their roles for the cartoon. The series was set in the 50s, like the show, and it focused on Fonzie, and yeah, here it is, joined by an anthropomorphic dog named Mr. Cool and his friends as they're visited by Cupcake, that's her name, a girl from the future who pilots a malfunction time machine. After the Fonz repairs the machine, a subsequent accident causes the group to become missing in time. The series focused on Fonz and his friends in England in various periods of times, attempting to return to 1957. The introduction to the series was narrated by our man Wolfman Jack. After the show ended, they was introduced into Laverne and Shirley in the Army, which I kind of gotta talk about them together because Laverne and Shirley in the Army followed, of course, Laverne and Shirley. They were in the Army. Um, so the Laverne and Shirley. Oh, it was just called Laverne and Shirley. In the Army, it only ran from, dang, it didn't run very long at all. October 10th, 1981 to November 13th, 1982. It was a spinoff of the Laverne and Shirley live action. It was actually voiced by Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams. Blah, blah, blah. They enlisted in the Army. So read this one. The series is set at Camp Fillmore and follows the comedic antics of roommates Laverne DeFazio and Shirley Feeney as privates with the U.S. Army. They wind up getting involved in escapades with the immediate superior, a pig, named Sergeant Squealy, who's also threatening to report them to his superior, Sergeant Turnbuckle. The series was retitled Laverne and Shirley with the Fonz when they combined the two shows. During the second season, like I said, they were joined by the. Why? Why can't people just leave stuff alone? When you see something popular, you don't have to do this. You don't have to make a cartoon of this. Like I said, the Fonz and Happy Day Gang was okay, but the Laverne and Shirley cartoon was just utterly ridiculous. I'm like, a pig, a pig. Oh, okay, sure, that makes sense. And I know it's a cartoon and everything. And remember, everybody, comment, please. I know it's a cartoon and everything, but you still have to have some remit of like reality. I know it's a cartoon and I know it's not making a lot of sense, but you have to have some element of realism because you're just going to be sitting there looking like a stupid idiot. Um so I'm off of that. So I want to also talk about other shows that I can't, and this is a question I'm going to ask everybody out there. What's the difference between the Laugh Olympics and Wacky Races? They're exactly they were both produced by Hanna-Barbera. They both had like cartoon all-stars like competing against each other. Anybody want to explain the difference to me? Because I literally thought this was the same show. And I remember, no, they're not. One of them had a dog that would laugh like this. And he would cover his mouth and laugh. I don't remember which one had which. But if anybody can tell me the difference between the Wacky Races and Laugh Olympics, I would greatly appreciate it because I don't know the difference. I literally don't know the difference. Don't know the difference. Charlie Chan had a cartoon. Yes, I can't play it because YouTube will take me down. But Charlie Chan had a cartoon. I don't remember that one as much. I remember going back and watching it as an adult because I couldn't believe they're going to give Charlie Chan a cartoon. I'm trying to think of that. What was, yeah, it was called The Amazing Chan. That's what it was called. It was called The Amazing Chan. And it was Charlie Chan and his 7 or 8 kids, and they would solve mysteries. That's another thing Hanna-Barbera did that annoyed me. They would like literally copy off of like other cartoons. Like they would create a new show, but you could tell it was either a ripoff of Scooby-Doo, a ripoff of the Flintstones. It was a ripoff of one of those two shows. For example, Jabberjaw is a complete ripoff of Scooby-Doo. You got the shark, which, okay, I know one is a shark, one is a dog, but that's Scooby. One of them looks exactly like Fred, and 2 of them look like Daphne. Then there's that other one, Speed Buggy cartoon. Not Speed. Oh no, Josie and the Pussycats. The manager is Fred. Point blank, period. I'm like, what are they doing? And then there's one guy with the hat and the glasses, Shaggy. Why did Hamburger like they thought we weren't gonna notice it? Like, that character looks exactly like most of them copied off of Scooby-Doo, right? Most of them. But we were kids and we were still like, they look exactly alike. Like exactly alike. Um then you had Captain Caveman, which I think was a spinoff of the Flintstones. Um might not have been. Then you had again you had the Wacky Races, Laugh Olympics, which again literally I thought this was one show, but it's actually 2 shows. Um I'm trying to think of the other Hanna-Barbera shows that, and yeah, I told you at the beginning I was going to be using my phone, so blah, blah, blah. I already mentioned Yogi Bear. Okay. Now, some of these I have never seen. So I have never seen the Adam Ant Squirrel Show. I've never seen the Huckleberry Hound Show. I mean, I know who Huckleberry Hound is, but I thought he was on Captain Captain Caveman, my look-alike, LOL. Um, I mean, I know who Huckleberry Hound is, but I didn't know he had his own show. The Yogi Berra Show, I already talked about that. Magilla Gorilla. What? That was that purple. That was a purple ape, right? Okay. Top Cat, Frankenstein Jr., Johnny Quest. Okay, now Johnny Quest is just pure racism on fleek. Why did they have that little boy Haji? Where was Haji is Indian, right? And they would have like it would be like Johnny Quest is a little kid, and he's got a friend named Haji, and the dog I think is named Bandit. Oh my gosh, I loved that cartoon when I was a kid. And then I got older, I was like, ooh, that cartoon might be racist. Quick Draw McGraw, I remember that one. Space Ghost, The Flintstones, The Peter Patamus Show. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids, The Secret Squirrel Show, The Amazing Chan Clan. That's what okay. Here's one I grew up watching. Now, you talk about a ripoff of the Flintstones. It's got to be the Jetsons. Yes, I know that the Flintstones was a ripoff of the Honeymooners. I get it. Jackie Gleason wasn't apparently pleased that Fred Flintstone was him, but I think his manager talked him out of it. Like, man, you're gonna sue a cartoon? That's gonna look real stupid. So I get that the Flintstones was a ripoff of the Honeymooners, but that doesn't mean I can excuse the Jetsons. This show was absolutely the worst, right? They had George. What was his wife's name? Okay, I'm trying to think of the song. Meet the Jetsons. Dun dun dun. Jane, his wife, his boy Elroy. Dun 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 dun. Daughter Judy. Dun 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 dun. And the robot and the dog. I think the dog was named Astro. Um, I could not stand this cartoon. I could not stand the Jetsons. It was extremely stupid. The only time I actually sat down and watched the Jetsons is when they did that crossover episode with the Flintstones. I thought, oh, okay, this will be good to see Fred and Barney in a time where like Christ would have been born, would have been buried, would have been resurrected, instead of like in the Flintstone age where there was no possibility of that. But hey, I'm just here. That's like literally the only time I thought, oh, that's interesting. But it just was blah to me. The whole premise of the Jetsons was just blah. They had flying cars, which we don't have. Like, and I think it took place in the 26th century. Yeah, the 26th century. They had flying cars, and everything was like techno. I mean, Inspector Gadget was more forward thinking than they were. At least Penny had that watch that she could talk into. Now we got smart watches. But nothing they said actually happened. We don't have apartments in the sky like that. Well, we have skyscrapers, we do, but we don't have flying cars going around. Just no. I could not stand the Jetsons. Did not like the Jetsons. I'm most likely going to concentrate on all the spinoffs of the Flintstones and all the spinoffs of Scooby Doo, but I'm just kind of going through these other cartoons. Two Stupid Dogs. I had no idea. The Fantastic Four was They're Two Stupid Dogs. Goober and the Ghost Chasers. Help, it's the Hair Care Bunch. Now I remember the Hair Care Bunch. Oh, this cartoon was so freaking cute. Um, um, I love the Hair Care Bunch. Okay, let's see. Okay. Quick Draw McGraw, the Flintstones, Top Cat, the Jetsons, da da da, Johnny Quest, da da da. I'm trying to find Sinbad and his magic belt. Don't remember the Laura and Hardy, Frankenstein and the Impossibles, Space Ghost and Dino Boy. Yep, I remember Space Ghost. We'll Take Manhattan, the Abbott and Costello cartoon show, Birdman and the Galaxy Trio, the Herculoids, Shazam, not Shazam, Shazam. Samson and Goliath was a cartoon apparently. The Banana Splits. Where is Hong Kong Phooey? This cartoon was awesome. Okay. Hong Kong Phooey was about it only stayed on 2 years. Okay. So and I didn't okay, so I'm just gonna read this. The main character, Hong Kong Phooey, is the clownishly clumsy secret identity of, and his name was Penrod Prinny Pooch, an anthropomorphic dog working at the police station as a mild mannered janitor under the guise and glare of Sergeant Flint, nicknamed Sarge. He would jump into filing cabinets and then just do he never solved crimes, but just a hilarious show. His success, which he didn't have any, was either due to the dog spot who provides solutions to challenges or the direct results of comically unintended side effects of his efforts. The humor of incompetence of Hong Kong Phooey is a recurring theme of each episode. Oh, worse, he was not competent. He was not competent at all. He was not competent. He could not do anything right. Um, and it was, but I liked that cartoon. I thought it was funny. I thought the little dog was, yeah, I really liked Hong Kong Phooey. And some of these cartoons didn't stay on but a year, and you can literally tell why. Um, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it, except for the Smurfs. Nobody has any business enjoying the Smurfs and Yogi Bear. No. Anything else that Hanna-Barbera did, you can like, but just don't like the Smurfs and don't like Yogi Bear. So we're gonna talk about what I really want to talk about. Every single Flintstones ripoff. Oh, I'm sharing screens on this, so let me put this candy on now. And my source is Screen Rant. Okay, is my source. Of course, you had the original Flintstones, the original with the Christmas special, and Christ wasn't born yet, but okay, we'll just go with it. And they did the list, and there's the website right there if you want to go to it. But I didn't know the original show was on that long. It ran from 1960 until 1966. Wow. Okay, but here we go. The Pebbles and Bam Bam Show. This was following, and I'm going from memory, so pardon me. This is following, let me stop sharing so I don't get hit. This is following Pebbles and Bam Bam as teenagers. I think they were dating, but I'm not 100% sure. They had their own music group called the Bedrock Rockers. If I can say that fast enough. The Bedrock Rockers, which was supposed to capture the success of Josie and the Pussycats. Name his song the Bedrock Rockers put out. I don't know. That ran from 1971 to 1972. It lasted one season. The Flintstones Comedy Hour. This is another one. It was Fred and Barney along with Teenage Pebbles, along with Teenage Bam Bam, and the original cast of the Pebbles Bam Bam Show. So they still had the music group, the Rockers, the Bedrock Rockers. What a terrible name. But now Fred and Barney was in it. The Pebbles and Bam Bam Show, I don't think ever had Fred, Barney, Wilma, and Betty in it. It only lasted one season, ran from 1972 to 1973. The Flintstone Comedy Show, it ran from 1973 to 1974. You still have Teenage Bam Bam, Teenage Pebbles, but this time you have Wilma and Betty plus Barney and Fred. And they would just be remixed, and of course it only lasted one show. Now I'm trying to think of the one, and I think this is a show where Fred and Barney played cops. They were casted as cops, and they worked for the police. I think it's called Fred Flintstone and Friends, but I can't think of it. No, wait a minute. So that only lasted 1 year because it was just basically Fred and Barney for a little bit, and then we'll just show other Hanna-Barbera cartoons. But I'm still trying to think if anybody knows it. What was the show where Fred and Barney played police? I keep saying played. They were cops working for the police. Okay, so you had the new Fred and Barney show. I think this is the same idea. But what they did was this time they had toddler Bam Bam and toddler Pebbles. So they reverted them back. So they had them originally as teen. Well, okay, in the original show, they were toddlers. So they were originally toddlers in the Flintstones. Then in the spinoffs, they grew them up to be teenagers. But in this show, they put them back as toddlers. Then you had Fred and Barney Meet the Thing. Yeah. I don't even want to talk about that. But notice, well, let me make mention of this. Fred and Barney Fred, Barney, and the Thing are only featured together during the opening sequence and never appeared together in an actual cartoon segment. Um, Fred and Barney meet Shamoo, Shmoo. That ran from 1979 to 1980. Um, I don't even know what that is. So, okay, this is the show. Okay, so the show that I was thinking of where Fred and Barney were cops is called The Flintstone Comedy Show. Ran from 1980 to 1982. So, this is the one. So, let me go backwards. So, of course, in the original cartoons, they were toddlers. Pebbles and Bam Bam, they were teenagers. Other show, they were teenagers. Then they changed them back to babies. And this show, now they're back to being, I wish they would make up their minds. Now they're back to being teenagers. So, this is the one that also Captain Caveman was on it, I think. But this is the show that had Fred and Barney as cops. And yes, Captain Caveman was on it. And I'm still looking at this screen here, guys. So then you had the Flintstone Funnies, which was just basic, and that ran from 1982 to 1984. They were just repackaged reruns. Now, the one that most people know is the Flintstone Kids. Now, this one is pretty simple. It's Fred, Barney, Wilma, Betty as kids. It basically is the one that most people know. The show ensemble included, okay, and large group of their friends and neighbors. And then, like I said, it was basically the Flintstones as like kinder. Well, they didn't have kinder. Well, shoot, they didn't have Christmas back then either. But apparently, but they were kids. This show stayed. This is the spinoff that stayed on the longest. It stayed on 2 years, and I think it was in like the 80s. It was in the late 80s, 1986 to 1988. So there was one I've never heard of, Dino Stay Out. It was in 1995. The short starring the Flintstone pet Dino originally aired on Cartoon Network series What's a Cartoon? What's a Cartoon? Is a platform for animated shorts created just for the series. Okay. In the 1995 short directed by Joseph Barbera, Fred Flintstone gets mad with Dino for doing a poor job for if I could read. In 1995, directed by Joseph Barbera, Fred gets mad with Dino for doing a poor job of keeping his other pet, saber-toothed cat, outside the house while the Flintstones are away. Whoo! Okay, so the Cave Kids. Oh, and that only lasted a year. No, that didn't even last a year. That was just a few little episodes. So there was the Cave Kids in 1996. Again, they went back to Pebbles and Bam Bam as babies. And in this show, there was an actual show, but they emphasized education and life lessons. Never watch an episode. Dino the Great Escape. I guess this was a special. It was in 1997, and it was featured on Cartoon Network's What a Cartoon. The Great Escape is directed again by Joseph Barbera. In it, Dino works as a security guard at a local museum where a prize egg is stolen on. How does Dino get a job as a security? How does Dino get a job as a security guard? How? Okay, in 20, I'm just going. Um, in 2020, there was the Yabba Dabba Dinosaurs. I never remember this one. After a 2-decade hiatus, the Flintstones and Rebels will return to 2020 on the Boomerang streaming service instead of adults. Pebbles and Bam Bam are the focus of this revival. Apparently, I'd never heard of this one. There was one, and this is the only season of this show. It's aired in UK, but the US release date keeps experiencing delays. I'm not going to talk about the adult version. That does not get discussed. Um, those, those, they had a lot of spinoffs. They had a lot of spinoffs. I mean, there was Captain Caveman. There was you. I just went through them basically. I just went through them. Um, I'm not going to talk about. Well, no, yes, I am because I said I would. So another show that had a lot of spinoffs was Scooby Doo. And of course, I can't bring it up because I just had it. I literally just had it. Okay. I'm trying to type it up, guys. Sorry. So I can Scooby Doo. I hope this is in chronological order. Okay, so of course it started off with my favorite, Scooby Doo, Where Are You? Then they went to the Scooby Doo movies. Now, the Scooby Doo movies, if you don't remember, was where they would have celebrities, where the gang would visit, somehow meet up with a celebrity and help them solve a mystery. Some of those people were not alive at the time, but okay, they had like Phyllis Dillard, Dick Van Dyke, um, Sandy Duncan or Sandy Runkin, Sandy Duncan. The Addams Family was on one of them. Cass Elliot, the Three Stooges, but not with Curly. It was just Mo Leary and some other stooge that I have no idea who that was. So they would meet up with them and solve mysteries. Well, let me backtrack. So the original Scooby Doo stayed on for just one season. I didn't even realize that. No, I'm sorry, 3 seasons and had 41 episodes. Okay. I'm about to say, wait a minute, I know that show stayed on a long time. Um, then there was a new Scooby Doo movies. The Scooby Doo show was the one I don't think I've ever seen. The Scooby Doo show was with it ran from 1976 to 1978. Um and it ran for 3 seasons, I think. Um this one had Scooby, Scrappy. No, it was Scooby, um, and I think Scooby and Scrappy. No, Scooby, Daphne, and Shaggy. Might have been Scrappy in there too, but okay. Yeah, so we had that one, but I don't remember that one very much. The Scooby and Scrappy Doo show. Okay, so this one ran from 1980 to 1982. This was just with Scooby and Scrappy. There was no Shaggy, right? There was no Shaggy. I mean, he was in some, but he wasn't like a recurrent. He was like a recurring character. Um, did not like that one at all. Then there was the new Scooby and Scrappy Doo show. Um, and I think this is the one I'm getting confused. Um, okay, so they would have Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy. Okay, so this one, the new Scrappy Doo, the Scooby and Scrappy Doo show just had Shaggy, Scrappy, Scooby. Uh, each hour made 2 11 programs, which would occasion 2-part episodes. Okay, then the second season. Yep, okay. Show didn't like that one at all. Then there's this one, the 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo. Yeah, I'm gonna stay on this one a little bit. So the 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo, they totally changed up Natalie. Daphne's hairstyle. Like it went from like that long hair to like that bun, but like the reverse bun, like not the reverse bun, like a mushroom. Yeah, mushroom. She had that mushroom hairstyle. Um, and the plot, I'm just gotta read this. Vincent Van Gogh, which I think was Vincent Price, did the voiceover and said, "This is a warning to all living mortals that whosoever opens the chest of demons will release 13 of the most terrifying ghosts upon the face of the earth. Only you can return the demons to his chest because you let them out." So they would chase around, find these 13 ghosts, and put them in. Now, they also added that little annoying boy, Flim Flam. Flim Flam was the, if Scrappy Doo was useless, Flim Flam was worse. Added literally nothing. I mean, the show was already terrible, and now you're gonna add stuff. Flim Flam, I don't even um oh um da 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 da. Yep, they explained that Velma and Fred were at summer camp. I don't even Flim Flam. Just and then they had the two villains were named Word, Weerd, and Boogle. So they would try to stop them. Oh my gosh, 13 go. It was terrible. 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo. Okay, so here's one that people really love. This stayed on 4 seasons. A pup named Scooby Doo. I don't know anybody that did not like this show. This is the show where basically everybody, they had Fred, Velma, Daphne, Shaggy, and Scooby, but they were children. I don't know if Scooby can be considered a child, but you get it. He was younger Scooby. Um, they had the red herring. Um, and that was the town bully who tormented the game but always thwarted. Fred often accuses him of being a villain, but mostly incorrect. He's the villain in Night of the Boogie Biker, but Fred does not verbally accuse him due to Daphne belittling, betting he cannot go a day without accusing hearing. His name refers to an idiom, red herring. So he was the villain in here. And then there was and they had a really cool Scooby Dooby, Scooby Dooby, Dooby Dooby Doo, Dooby 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 Doo. Nope, it wasn't. It wasn't. I think you mean Shemp. This one he kind of looked like Curly. He was bald headed like Curly was, and but he wasn't Curly. They called him something else. Um, Okay. So I talked about the 13 a pup named Scooby Doo. What's new? Okay, so the newer ones I haven't seen these at all. What's new? Scooby Doo. Um, blah blah blah. Didn't like it. Shaggy and Scooby get a clue. Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated. Be Cool Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo and Guess Who? Velma. Okay, Velma, okay, so apparently Velma got her own little spinoff show and nobody liked it. They brought up sexual orientation when they never had to bring it up. They just put in a lot of stuff that didn't work. I knew after like one episode, I'm like, this show is not gonna work. This show is not gonna work at all. The fact that it has 21 episodes is just amazing. And I forgot about the Scooby-Doo show. The Scooby-Doo show way back in 1978 had Scooby-Dum in it. I know Scooby-Dum was in it. Yeah, Scooby-Dum was in it, and they would go to places like England and Mexico and somehow still be driving the mystery van and never explain like how they got the mystery van there. Oh, that was so cool. So, like I said, there's a whole series of a lot of Hanna-Barbera cartoons. A lot of them. I mean, I listed them all, and some of them I've seen. Most of them I haven't. Some I didn't even know were produced by Hanna-Barbera. It's if you can think of a show that I missed, which I probably missed a whole lot of them. Let me know. I told you all I wasn't going to discuss Yogi Bear and the Smurfs because I can't stand those two shows. How you tolerate them? I mean, just shut the Smurf up. Just don't. Just don't. And as we wrap up this show, remember I will be live at 7 p.m. tonight with a guest, so I won't be on Struggle Street. Yay, I will be live at 7 o'clock p.m. this evening. Remember to like this page or like this podcast. Remember to subscribe. Please remember to subscribe. I'm still looking for those 4 people out there that can be subscribers. Remember, I have a Christmas show coming up December the 25th at 6 p.m. Just an hour or so to kind of have some fun. We'll have the countdown to 2025 on December the 31st at 11:30 p.m. Remember to read my blog, like this page, share this page. I'll see you all at 7. Have a great one. I'm going to take myself down and do the outro.